By Tuesday morning, the walls of Elmsville Junior High were covered with bright posters. Courage Week countdown, 3 days left. Be bold, be brave, be seen. What will you do? Benji wished he could unsee all of them. He sat on his bed in his bedroom that night, wrapped in a blanket like a nervous burrito. A single lamp cast soft shadows across the room. His notebook sat open on his lap, the one where he kept a running list of things that made his heart beat too fast. Tonight, he wrote at the top in capital letters, "Things that terrify me, but I might try, maybe, probably not." He stared at the page, then slowly started writing. Public speaking, making eye contact for more than 3 seconds, asking a question in class, saying no without apologies, telling a joke and no one laughs, being seen, like actually seen. He paused, then underlined that last one 3 times. At school on Wednesday. Okay, hear me out. You could arm wrestle the vice principal. That counts as bravery and cardio, Leo said. Mr. Grunfeld eats protein powder dry. I'm not trying to die, Benji said, horrified. What about performing a song? Something short, like Twinkle Twinkle. You'd be in and out, said Amira. That's not a song, that's a public execution, grumbled Benji. His friends laughed, but Benji wasn't joking. Benji then tried to escape. He tried all the tricks he could lay his hands on. First, he went to the nurse's office. Benji tries to fake a cold by rubbing pepper on his nose. He sneezed 17 times, and the nurse still sends him back with a lollipop. Then the school library hideout. He hides between the history and horror sections. A librarian finds him and compliments his bravery for reading How to Speak Up in a Loud World. Then he faced the principal himself by writing a secret note to him. He writes, "I would like to opt out of Courage Week due to religious reasons. I religiously avoid embarrassment." It's returned with a sticky note. Nice try, Benji. That night, Benji's mom dropped him off at Grandma Ruth's house while she ran errands. Grandma Ruth was the kind of woman who didn't fear burnt toast, spoke her mind like she was charging rent for it, and wore bright lipstick just to intimidate the local grocery boys. She handed Benji a cup of tea and sat across from him at the kitchen table. "So, Courage Week, huh?" asked Grandma Ruth. "Yeah, I'm thinking I might skip it," Benji said quietly. "Skip it? Benji, you once cried because your sandwich had the wrong kind of mustard, but you still ate it. That's courage," said Grandma Ruth, chuckling. Benji smiled, despite himself. She leaned in, more serious now. "You know, when I was your age, I had to speak in front of the whole church. My voice shook so hard, I sounded like a goat. But I did it. And afterward, someone told me, if you can talk while scared, you can talk in any room," said Grandma Ruth. She tapped his notebook with a gentle finger. "You don't have to be ready. You just have to try. Let God meet you there." Benji looked down at his list again, then slowly flipped the page. Just like when God told Gideon he'd save Israel, Gideon replied, "But how can I? I'm the weakest in my family." And God answered, "I will be with you. Fear isn't the enemy, it's the doorway. Trying is braver than hiding. Your first act of courage is choosing not to quit. Is there something you've been avoiding? A step you've been too scared to take? Write it down, then pray, then take one small step. And hey, we want to know, what would your Courage Week look like? Drop it in the comments and tell us where you're watching from. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if this story encouraged you, because next week, Benji steps on stage and everything changes. Would you like me to move on to part 4? The turning point where Benji starts preparing for his big moment.